Hello and welcome to another episode of Solo No More. I'm your host, Catrice, and today we are going to have a little bit more of a business tips and tricks focused kind of episode. So, as I was thinking about this week's episode, something that I thought about is kind of the conversations that I'm having a lot with my clients, that I'm having a lot with my leads, and kind of wanting to share with you and kind of compile everything into a episode, even though really compiling everything into an episode is not going to be as long as that sounds. But I kind of wanted to talk about, to give a little bit more context into where this is coming from. In August, I launched the Evergreen Support Network, which is a membership program that I host for, well, now it's kind of transitioned into being for photographers who are looking to book out their calendars using Instagram and they want tailored support in doing that. And then, at the time that this episode airs or is available for streaming or whatever, I won't have launched it yet, but I also will be launching a membership called Greenlight Society, which will be under Hold My Mimosa, my new business. And Greenlight Society is focused on, providing the female the female solopreneur who is not yet ready to outsource, but isn't quite ready yet to invest in like a high ticket coaching program, but wants support. She needs support. She wants something that's, in her back pocket, that's a little bit more on call. So with those, and then I launched Solopreneur Sidekick in September, and Solopreneur Sidekick, I launched it originally as a mastermind program. I'm now transitioning it, but that is offering 10 hours of done-for-you service every single month. And then also strategy support. So it's a combination. If you follow me, I'm very much a combo gal in terms of like combining strategy support and done-for-you service. But going on though, sorry for that was very long-winded. The thing is that back in August, I started this, launch stacking, and then now I launched a new business and I'm going to be launch stacking for that business. And I have seen a lot of success in the last 3 to 4 months. Success that I had not seen prior in my businesses. And not to say that my business, like Captured Media, has been pretty successful since I launched it back in September of 2022, as it's gone through multiple pivots and shifts. But something that I always struggled with was filling my client roster as full as I would like it to be and really establishing reoccurring revenue. So if you're not sure what reoccurring revenue is, that is, like in layman's terms, money that you're going to get every single month because someone is on like a subscription-based payment. And so really this is where when I first started Captured Media, I was living not paycheck to paycheck or month to month per se, but it was like contract to contract. It was here's a 3-month contract here, here's a 3-month contract here, or project to project, because I also was signing a lot of projects. But since August, when I launched Evergreen Support Network, and then September, I did Solopreneur Sidekick. And then October, there wasn't really a launch. I kind of like relaunched Evergreen Support Network, and now we're in November, and I'm going to be, kind of relaunching Evergreen Support Network for Black Friday. I'm going to be launching Greenlight Society for Hold My Mimosa to kind of get the offers rolling there. But in the last few months, I have really, seen an increase in sales and seen an increase in reoccurring revenue where people are signing on for subscription-based things where I know just about every month how much money I'm going to be making based off of like the number of members that I have in something, which is absolutely phenomenal. And so I wanted to kind of talk about, what has helped me get here. And so obviously first we have to, give credit where credit is due. And I did invest in a sales coach back in March of this year, which was absolutely phenomenal. I was so good at the marketing piece of, getting booking clients, but I wasn't super great at closing sales and doing sales. And so hiring Megan was like such a phenomenal decision because it just really was the missing piece. Like she helped me, refine my messaging and refine how the conversations I was having and kind of what I was saying in those conversations, refining the strategies and stuff in which I close sales. And so that is really big. But aside from hiring Megan, here are the two things that have helped me the most in terms of like landing clients and stuff in the last few months, that I am also seeing like as I ramp up into another launch season and Black Friday and everything, what's helping. And so one is getting in the DMs. So something that Megan has talked to me about is like, so often we wait for people to come to us. We believe that people should come to us instead of us going to them for the sale. And so something that I have worked a lot on is, and I've always been really great at, forming relationships, but it's how do you start a conversation with someone who you would like to work with and have it like going into it to build a relationship. That's like a big piece of it is I go into conversations with the intent of building a relationship, that I also go in with the idea that even if they don't book any of my services or anything, that they are going to help me, build my business, in the sense that I use DMs and I use these conversations as a way to get an idea of what my ideal clients are saying. What are the struggles and pain points that they're having? How can I help them solve those things? And so, me going out and starting these conversations and having conversations and just getting to know people, like I know that my ideal client is someone who has a dependent in their life, whether that is a kid or a dog. Like they have, like a dependent in their life that requires their time and attention throughout the day. They are not someone who can just sit at their desk and, you know, if the whole day went by and they sat at their desk, nothing would matter. Like my ideal client is someone who, they have something in their life that requires them to, need to invest time and energy into that. So, like, because there's a difference. There's me just being able to take my own dogs out to go to the bathroom versus me being able to like take them to the dog park and on long walks and that stuff. Like, there's someone else's quality of life in there, and how can you thrive as a person and those types of things. So, but that all comes from having these conversations and realizing, who am I attracting to my page? Who is attracted to my marketing? Who's attracted to my lifestyle? And then being able to figure out what words are they using, what exact problems are they having, and then being able to take that and use that in my content, so then I am able to continue attracting people like that. But then having conversations, and having these conversations where I am not doing as much talking, but I'm doing a lot of question asking. I'm getting to know them, I'm validating what they're saying, and it's very permission based, so that when there is an opening and opportunity to kind of talk about my services or to see if they would be interested in working with me, it's very permission based. It's very, would you be interested in hearing about this? I hear that you are struggling with X, Y, and Z. What if A, B, and C was possible for you? Would you be interested in hearing that? Like, it's very permission based, and it's really at the root of it, it is not waiting for someone to come to me and me going to them. At least once a week, I clear out all of the stories. Like I tap through every single story in my feed. I don't really know what we call it, but we're going to call it the feed, because it's not really the scrolling part, it's the tapping through the stories part. Going on though, I clear it all out. Like I go through every single person's stories and I try to make sure that I'm responding to at least 3 to 5 of them. And I'm trying to find people where I can actually start conversations. It's not just sliding into people's DMs to slide into the DMs with the hope that they're going to give you money. It's where can I form relationships? And even the people that have not turned into actual sales, like those conversations are so great and it's so fun to have them come back and they take advantage of my Ask Me Anything Tuesday, like the free coaching that I offer on stories and that stuff. Like I think that's like a really big thing is mindset wise. You have to go in with the idea that like the goal like, yes, we all need to make money, but the goal is not to just form relationships to make money. The goal is to form relationships to support our business, because community is so big. And even if someone isn't going to invest in your business, if they aren't going to invest in your offers or services, whatever, like, those conversations can be so crucial in those relationships, because you never know who they could be talking to about you. Like, who they could be saying, oh my gosh, I really loved not working with, but chatting with so and so. And they were so helpful with this. Like, I also don't believe in gatekeeping. I'm trying to get better on the line, where I draw the line with, here, let me give you a little bit of information, some quick wins, tips, whatever information you're looking for from me, without it being like, let me give you full on coaching and give you all the strategy support that I give my clients. But that has been like so big, because I don't, like, not everyone can afford my offers, even when, like, there used to be a point where I was like, oh my gosh, Evergreen Support Network is so cheap, it's so affordable, why? Like, just don't make assumptions. That's another thing. Don't assume you know what people's financial situation is, and give people opportunities to work with you in capacities where it builds trust, it builds an actual relationship, where, like, and it's mutually beneficial. I don't know. And maybe my words are going to get twisted on the interwebs, and I'll get canceled for all that I'm saying, but I think that's just like a really big thing, is like getting in the DMs, not waiting for people to come to you, go to them, and like really just focus on relationships. And then the next thing that has been really, really helpful is the bandwagon effect. And I looked up on my phone to give you like the Google definition of, or meaning of, the bandwagon effect. And so the very first thing on the Google search is, the bandwagon effect is a psychological phenomenon in which people do something primarily because other people are doing it, regardless of their own beliefs, which they may ignore or override. Now, I don't necessarily need people to disregard their beliefs or ignore them or override whatever, but essentially how I use the bandwagon effect is, that's me sharing on my stories, like, another ESN member, like another person signed up, like subscribed to my email list. That is so big, because then it like builds that credibility that people are actually investing in you, and they like, it's not just you like spewing information and just like talking nonstop about your offers into the abyss. Like, people are actually buying. And this has been so helpful, because it's not just helpful in terms of like from a sales perspective, but it's been really helpful in a confidence perspective, and when it comes to imposter syndrome. Because when I first started and I didn't have any clients, it felt so hard showing up online over and over, day in and day out. And like, it was really hard, because I was like, I have no social proof, I have no client testimonials, I have nothing. And so just to be able to share and be like, people are buying, people are investing, and you should too, has been so helpful. And it's been crazy, because a lot of my sales that I have, a lot of member signups that I get for ESN, come right after I post about someone else joining. Like, that's what happens, is I will post about it, I'll post about someone being in, and then I will directly go lead into dropping the link and being like, who's next? Or I will drop a poll and be like, who's next? And the options will be like, me, send me the link, or I have questions. And then that poll also is so helpful in getting me into the DMs and having those actual like outright sales conversations with people, because they have an opportunity to take easy action. Sometimes I feel like we want people to just see our Instagram, click on the link in our bio, and give us their credit card information. But sometimes that can be that's a really big task for some people. That's been a big task for me, like, to be able to go from like, let me go and just like invest in someone outright. Like, I want to have a conversation with people. And so it's really nice, because even when someone clicks on the option of me, send me the link, I'm having conversations with them, making sure that like we are a good fit for one another, those types of things. But like that, I will say that I get a lot of sales right after, or I get a lot of interest, and I start a lot of sales conversations right after I post about someone joining my programs. Another big thing on top of that is also sharing client wins, and not just sharing their wins, but their stories. And then following that all up, being able to be like, client A went from this to this, and here's what we did. Do you want to join? I wouldn't necessarily do you want to join, but like, are you next? And dropping the link, dropping a poll. But I just wanted to like create this episode so then I could kind of have a place to direct people to be like, here, you want to know kind of how I'm doing what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Go check out this episode. But really, I think that, like I said, I'm not a gatekeeper. Like these are really easy, tangible actions to do. And they have made such a significant difference in my business. Like my reoccurring revenue is like exponentially increasing every month. Like it's so crazy to see, just looking at now back to August, like, oh my gosh. And even like, I will even say that I've had members in ESN drop out because of like whatever reasons, and when they are exiting the program, they're like, I can't wait to come back. And then I will be posting stuff on my stories about new people joining or the wins that are happening, and people are so engaged because I've built relationships. Again, community is so big. Community is so important when it comes to running a business and having a successful business, a thriving business, because I have these old past members who are sliding in being like, oh, I can't wait to join again, or that's so exciting that like your clients are accomplishing these things. Like truly at the end of the day, like the biggest tip that I can give is like invest in people, not just money wise and want them to invest in you money wise, but like your time and your energy, and build relationships and cultivate a community. It is so big, but truly like the biggest things that have helped me are getting in the DMs, not waiting for people to come to me, but going to them, using the bandwagon effect, and like just building relationships. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Solo No More, and I will talk to you later.